it possible to be friends with a pick-me girl? In my junior year of high school, I moved to Waterbridge High, and I was really nervous about making new friends. So when a group of girls invited me to sit with them, I was relieved. We hit it off instantly, immediately gossiping about who the hottest teacher was, and one of them even let me borrow her glossier lip gloss. But that's when a girl, Kaylee, sat beside us. She announced as loudly as possible, "Oh wow, is that makeup?" Personally, I prefer a bare face. It just seems less fake and it's more authentic. She said it to target me, all while staring right at the table full of boys for validation, to see if they were looking over. They weren't. Later that day, the girls I was sitting with were full-on gossiping about her, saying things like she was a thirsty hoe for attention and a desperate pick-me girl. I didn't join in. Not because I didn't agree, I definitely did, but because my mom had drilled into me that kindness is contagious since I was 5. So I made it my mission to try and be her friend. And the next day during history class, I got my chance. Because my teacher paired me with Kaylee for the semester-long project. The first time we hung out to work on research, I noticed her walking ahead of me with her butt pushed out so far, she looked like she had scoliosis. "Why are you walking like that?" I asked, genuinely confused. She whipped around, hand on her hip. "If you don't have a big butt, just say that." I literally had to clench my fist to stop myself from saying something I'd regret. But the more I hung out with Kaylee, the less any girl wanted to be seen with me. And soon, she became my only friend. Within 2 weeks, my phone stopped buzzing with party invites. The lunch table I'd been sitting at since September suddenly had no room for me. I tried so hard to defend Kaylee to them. "She's actually not that bad when you get to know her," I insisted during chemistry, but they just rolled their eyes. What killed me was that same afternoon, Kaylee looked at me in front of 4 guys from our class and asked, "Who do you think looks better, me or her? Be honest." I couldn't even think of a way to defend her to the girlies. Things got worse when I started dating Gordon, this guy from my theater. We'd been together for 3 weeks when Kaylee suddenly started showing up to his rehearsals. She'd touch his arm when she laughed, leaning in close to whisper jokes. When I mentioned feeling uncomfortable, she told Gordon I was the jealous type, not chill like her. We broke up after she convinced him I'd gone through his phone. I didn't even know his password. From there, it was hard not to hate her guts, and the project we were doing felt like I was chained to her. When I went to my guidance counselor about switching partners, she frowned at my file. Quitting now would show commitment issues. That'll look bad to colleges. By November, I was desperate. The project was due on Monday, and Kaylee still hadn't done her half of the work. So I decided to drive to her house and see what was going on for myself. I wasn't prepared for what would happen when her mom opened the door. She answered the door in yoga pants and a wine glass, and she invited me in. Immediately, I noticed the Saturdays are for the boys flag hanging over their TV. Kaylee was on the couch, texting someone, and her mom's voice went sharp. "Were you texting that girl again? What did I tell you about not being allowed to have female friends?" "I wasn't," Kaylee started, but her mom cut her off. "You should only be friends with boys. They're simpler." Then her mom noticed me standing there with a book bag, and her whole demeanor shifted. "Oh good, you're here to work on homework, not have some stupid girls' night." Kaylee stood up to get me water, and we locked eyes. The girl who'd tormented me for months looked completely dead behind the eyes, nothing like her bimbo school persona. When her mom went to refill her wine, Kaylee's voice dropped to barely a whisper. "Please don't tell anyone about my mom." I looked at this girl who destroyed my social life, my relationship, nearly my future, and suddenly understood everything. Every cruel comment, every male validation seeking, every female friendship she'd sabotaged, it was all programming. I didn't tell anyone. And from there, we started becoming friends. Actually friends. I invited her over almost every day, and my mom showed her how a mom should actually be, kind and loving. In senior year, Kaylee testified against her mom in court for emotional abuse. She got placed with her aunt 2 states away. Update: yes, we're still friends. In 2 weeks, I'm getting married, and Kaylee will be my maid of honor.